This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm delighted to be joined by Siesta over Zoom. Al, how is life? How are you doing?
Man, life was incredible. I literally arrived a week ago from Belarus. I've been here in the UK for the last, whatever, 6 days, enjoying my family times, sleeping, eating, watching Netflix, catching up. Um, nice, man, nice. It was a bit exhausting, I can tell you, but very, very satisfying. And weather here is fantastic. When I've been living in Minsk, it was 0 degrees, you know. So it's all good, man, all good. I'm sitting on the floor, by the way, because it's just a cozy, nice place. When you run me for the interview, I thought, let's just do it because I've been doing some stuff here. I just found a new spot in the office, you know.
Let's start off with kind of your experiences with the second series of Cold Wars. Reflect on it all for me, Al. How challenging or how easy did you find it in the end?
Man, let me tell you that everything in boxing, when you're a promoter, guided by the finance, the more money you've got, the easier it is. My budgets are very, very limited. I'd say, this is no exaggeration, I might be working on, I don't want to say the numbers, but far, far, far inferior financial situation than what Queensbury or Matchroom have. So when I look at their production, these beautiful screens and everything, I mean, I must give it to Matchroom. Production is incredible, really nice. Reminds me of Vogue magazine and all these beautiful fonts running. And yesterday, actually, Roy Jones's production with Mike Tyson. I know we come back to that, but I liked it as well. Although Dubois against Joyce, the production was a bit different, if you know what I'm saying. Is we all guided by the finance. Some people don't like spend money on stuff and they'd like to deliver content, actual fight. Some people really, really care about the wrapping. So if you know what I mean about the wrapper in terms of the production and values and the camera angles and the coloring and so on and so forth. Myself, as you know, I'm an ex-musician. If I would have had all that finances, trust me, I would have tried to match those guys. But yeah, so the reason I started from that is all about finance. In Minsk, it was very, very difficult. The reason I'm in Belarus, because I've got great contact. God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah. For those who doesn't know, he just sneezed. Yeah. So because I've got lots of contacts in television there, lots of people in Olympic committee and so on and so forth, lots of people who can provide infrastructures for me in Belarus, it was easier for me. Something like this in the UK, I never would have been able to afford it, I can guarantee you. No chance, literally. So that's why I was in Belarus. Overall, it was challenging, but we overcame it. Siesta Boxing done 10 shows, and it was brilliant. You know?
What's next, Al? Are you planning on having a third series of Cold Wars, or have you got something else in the pipeline, maybe over in the UK?
Man, there's a big announcement pending, which is but people keep texting me. Can you hear the noise?
Okay, I can hear the noise, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have put it on the mute. Maybe shall I do that? But okay, don't worry. And yeah, I will have very, very soon, very strong announcement. Very, very exciting. But I will keep it now. The cards close to my chest for now, and just enjoy with my family time and plan some more stuff. Very, very soon we will find out. I mean, you will find out what's happening with Siesta Boxing, and yeah, it's all good. All very, very nice.
Well, Al, I hope when you make that announcement, you will give Boxing Social the first exclusive interview.
Man, Boxing Social is my family, or I'd say are my family. You know what I mean? You are the network that gave me loads of time, always supported me, no matter what I've done, any kind of bollocks I've been saying or whatever it is. You were always behind me. So, of course, of
Well, Al,
course,
we appreciate you giving up your time as always. Let's
no
move
problem,
forwards
bro.
then. Let's talk about some of your fighters. Start off with Zak Chelli. We haven't had a chance to speak yet. He just recently won the the boxer tournament now, not ultimate boxer, but boxer tournament. What did you make of Zak's performances and his win?
I mean, it was a good win, but it was a bit of a. Did you hear that? Sorry, I dropped it. So actually, the guitar got dropped, but it went on the soft, so it's okay. Right, okay. So Zak Chelli, It was a very good win, but it was a bit of a foregone conclusion, really, with the lineup he had eventually. It was a foregone conclusion. That's not arrogant statement. Zak is a bit different kind of fighter. He was a head above every single contestant that was originally put into the competition. When I saw the lineups are changing due to COVID-19 and various stuff, I mean, it was matter of time to see Zak winning the tournament, and it was, as I said, foregone conclusion. That doesn't diminish Zak's talent, because Zak is a very, very special fighter, and I do believe in 2-3 fights Zak can contest for some good European level, maybe early worldwide layer of fighters, which Siesta Boxing will provide. So, since Zak Chelli signed with Siesta Boxing, his situation drastically changed. He could have fought 4 times. He fought on Matchroom's undercard on Spavetkin White pay-per-view, then entered a really reputable tournament. This is just God's blessing. I'm not saying I was the one who's been doing everything, but at the end of the day, I think God's look after Siesta Boxing lineup. Yeah, so the plan with Zak Chelli, steady, and very soon you will see what's going to be happening.
Moving away from Zak, Al and Luther Clay, what is the latest with Luther?
Luther Clay is down to South Africa. Luther Clay is in South Africa at the moment with his parents. They got family business. Very interesting. He asked me not to say that ever again to anybody because I mentioned it. It's a very nice and lucrative. So he's there and he'll be back, I think. I'm not sure if he's left already. I think he left already. If not, he's leaving very soon, staying over Christmas, over New Year's, back early January in camp. That's what it is. I wanted him to fight in Cold Wars late November, and Luther said he needs to go and do some stuff with the family and reflect on a few things and come back and get into the camp. And that's the situation. I mean, Luther Clay will see him very soon. And I tell you what, he said something really interesting to me. He goes, I am not interested to box anymore unless you guarantee me a rematch against Congo. Yeah, that's his words. Trust me. So, Chris, if you're hearing me, the rematch has to happen in a couple. Listen, I'm wishing you all the best, and I hope Chris Congo going to do the damage. But if you stuck for a fight, and as you know, no one really wants to fight you, couple of fights down the line when you will be struggling with the opponent, hopefully no, but if we'll get that happen again if you want to,
Moving forwards and on to another topic, we saw a big heavyweight fight last night between Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce stopping Daniel Dubois in the 10th round. Reflect on the fight for me, Al. I know you'd have watched it as all of us did. What did you think?
Man, I was wrong. Someone texted me, in fact, it was Paul Reddy, a good friend of mine, and he said to me, what do you reckon? I said, Dubois wave off. They wave off Joyce, and Paul answering me, probably because no punches coming back. I said, exactly. We were kind of wrong, you know what I mean? Both of us. Because that's what you would naturally think if you're in this business, that's what happens. And what I didn't like after Queensbury interviews was all about how Dubois lost the fight, not how Joyce won it. So everyone was absolutely adamant and expected Dubois to win. Joyce, I can't say he boxed spectacularly well, but the jab was tremendous, and that was a different on the night. Also in and out, he used his pedigree, his amateur pedigree, and I think we saw the rawness of Daniel, and we just saw that Daniel is a young man. That's what we saw. The experience of Joyce and Dubois it was slightly below his depth, really. And obviously that injury on the eye was very unfortunate because that was a main reason why he had to stop. I'm not blaming. I don't call him a quitter like few people did. I can imagine he couldn't see. He's only 23 years of age. He's a very talented fighter, and he lived to fight another day. That's what it was. So obviously that was very unpleasant jab, and he thought he took a knee and then probably had revelation moment of next time, which is good performance from Joyce. I mean, fights like that, I hope they would have been in a different circumstance with the different arenas. And I'm not diminishing what Queensberry done because they delivered a fantastic fight and it was brilliant. Fantastic fight. Imagine if it would have been full of crowd. Incredible. You know?
Oh, what did you make of people's comments that Daniel quit last night?
That's because people never been in the ring themselves and have never been hit by some kind of wardrobe size of a man like Joyce. Do you know what I'm saying? It's very painful, it's hurtful, it's dangerous. When fights are fights, they go through different kind of demon stages when they feel different psychological steps during the fight. And call someone a quitter after what we saw yesterday, who's only 23 years of age. This day and age, 23 years old. I don't even know. I don't want to insult on young generation. Do you know what I mean? But man, it takes a special, special person. When you can't see against such a pro, such a seasoned talent like Joe Joyce, that was the absolutely right decision to take. And no person in their clear state of mind would blame Daniel Dubois for taking that, for making that decision. And I know he will come back very strong. He's been doing very well in that fight. He been handicapped, compromised with that really swollen eye. I mean, God knows what goes through your head, man. I don't blame him at all. I mean, that jab was a bit too much for him. You could see it. So I've got no blame. And the comments of those idiots, you know what I'm saying? Whoever it's just, we can't even pay attention to that. People are cruel. One thing I know, you know it. They got no clue.
Oh, with Joe Joyce, as soon as the fight was over, he went up to the camera and he called out somebody you know very well, Alexander
Yeah,
Usyk. We know
yeah,
they fought as amateurs. Do you think we
yeah.
could see that fight next though? And if so, what would be your thoughts on it?
It's brilliant. It's a good fight. Joy's been beaten, not sure if twice, but definitely once by Usyk. I tell you where I can kind of predict what's going to happen in that fight, if you're interested.
Yeah.
Usyk is much faster, has great IQ, great movement. Joe hardly could be knocked out. He's got granite chin, mountain of a man. Definitely. Did you see that? Daniel laid some best shots. It had absolutely no effect. Anyway, no visible effect on Joyce. So what I think Usyk probably will outbox Joyce quite comfortably. I do believe that, unless he'll try to. You know the good thing about Joe Joyce, he makes it really claustrophobic in the ring. He's so imposing, and he eats away all entire space you've got with all these jabs. He's like a Robocop. Did you see the way he goes on? So he eats that space away and he overwhelms you and just surrender. With Usyk, we saw what happened with Chisora. Chisora threw kitchen sink at him, and it didn't work, you know. And I do believe that Derek is not less mobile than Joe Joyce. So therefore, I'll give Usyk advantage in movement, ducking and diving, surviving, jabbing back, laying the shots. It will be, it will be like power and size against finesse. That's what it's going to be. And finesse will prevail, in my opinion. That's what I feel. I could be wrong. I tell you who is very, very similar to Joyce, who I had on my show. Jan Kasabutsky, the southpaw, the heavyweight, who stopped Kamil Sokolowski. Bro, that is the machine of a man. And if he would fight Joe Joyce, that will be like two tractors. Massive. They know the tractors that carry coal in the canyons where they develop coal and all that kind of stuff. That massive kind of industrial tractors collide. That would have been very interesting, because Kamil said to me, Kamil Sokolowski, he goes, man, I fought with Dillian White. I was fighting. I fought many people. This guy is so special, so strong, massive puncher, imposing, mountain. He could be a world champion. So Jan Kasabutsky, watch out, that guy from Kazakhstan. I think he's 13-0 with 12 stoppages, I believe. But Usyk, I think, is a little bit too good technically, intellectually for Joe Joyce. My opinion, Joe, I love you. You know, you're great fights, a very intelligent man, highly charismatic, very well brought up, and very, very nice person. but I think Usyk probably too much. Just slightly different level in terms of finesse and understanding. But the fight, would I like to see that fight? Absolutely, no doubts. Wonderful fight. I would watch it as a pay-per-view as well. So
We'll leave that there now, and I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. But I'm gonna
you
leave.
never asked me. You never asked me about Roy Jones.
Oh yeah, mate. Wow, I don't know really now. I've got that one. Roy Jones, and obviously Mike Tyson fighting during the night to a draw. I know that you watched it. So, what are your thoughts on that and the entire event itself?
I spun a bit of a kind of provocative reaction from Russian crowd. I've been asked on an interview a week ago, what do I think about this? Do I think this fight is important? I said this fight is absolutely no important. It's designed for the punter and not for it's designed for casual, not for real professional or boxing connoisseur or boxing hardcore. When I said, and people just went like real aggressive in Russia, and I said, you can comfortably bet on draw now. That's what I said to them. You can comfortably bet on draw now. That's how obvious it is. I mean, Mike Tyson won the fight, in my opinion, but I mean, look, the sport, the love, the peace always win in exhibition fights, and therefore we've got that result. So was it worthy? I quite like the production. Very nice, very interesting. Maybe ceiling was a bit low, but that's my opinion. But it was very interesting, very kind of slightly futuristic, Matchroom-esque a bit, I can tell you. Although Matchroom goes a bit wider and richer and so on and so forth. That was a bit more chamber. But the fight was good. The guy's in great shape. Was I enjoying it? Not really. Was I watched it live? No. Did I watch it live? No. I got it recorded. So I watched it after, but it's okay. You know? Yeah.
Right, Al, now we will leave that there. I appreciate your time today, Al. I'll leave you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Final word to yourself, though, for everyone who's going to tune in. What would you like to say to them?
Guys, support Siesta Boxing on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all other accounts. Support me personally. I mean, sorry for my English. I've been speaking Russian for about 5 weeks. I'm just catching up, and it's funny how if you're foreign forever. No matter how long you live in the UK, 25 years, 30 years. If this is not your native tongue originally, it takes 4 weeks to put you off your tracks completely. But if you know what I mean. But the final word, support Siesta Boxing. Support us, guys. Please watch out for the announcements. Something very strong coming. And let me tell you that 2021 will be a very, very special year. This is my personal guarantee to you. Merry Christmas for those who are celebrating. Seasonal greetings for those who doesn't, and spend quality time with your family. Let's see through this 2020 crazy year. So guys, I love you and I leave you here.
Al, thank you for your time and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
You're welcome, brother.